What's up everyone, PersNikity here, welcome back to Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and we are moving on to Chapter 20, Race to the Rescue. Again, this is on brutal difficulty, and if you are familiar with this game, then this is probably the level you've been dreading since the beginning. There are two pretty tough firefights to go through on this level, but the good news is if you can get past this level, congratulations, you're going to get through the game on brutal, because Chapter 21 is a joke, and Chapter 22, the final boss fight, is also pretty simple. Now hopefully with this walkthrough, I'm going to be showing you what I think is the best approach to these two firefights. So right off the bat, run through here and hide behind this stone square tablet here and kill these two enemies by shooting them in the back. Luckily they will be distracted by Sully and they won't pay you much attention. Now with those two out of the way, hopefully you have a sniper rifle. If not, try to find one. I was purposely saving this from Chapter 19. But it's not absolutely necessary, but you see here it made things relatively easier because as these enemies spawned, I was able to take out two of them from a pretty far distance away, and one of them was actually the grenade launching enemy, so that's where the sniper rifle kind of came into play. Now you see this is where things will get a little tricky because one of these enemies will go to your right and one of them will still try to fight you straight on, so you're gonna have to kind of rotate around this tablet to make sure you don't get killed. And so you can see this guy here, he's kind of playing like ring around the rosy with me. Like he started to go left, so I started to, you know, change my cover. Then he went left, so I changed my cover. Drake just said, for the love of God. I can't help but think it's because of that reason. But finally the guy should kind of settle down in a location, and that's when you're going to shoot him in the back. Again, it's really helpful that Sully is here with you because the enemies will be drawn to him as well, so you won't have to do this all on your own. Now, once you don't, if you don't see any more enemies, you can be relieved, but at the same time, you still got to be careful because there are a lot of places for the enemies to hide. And once you take out that initial wave of enemies, this is where you'll get a checkpoint. And the way you'll know you get a checkpoint is a red laser sight will start shining down on you. Once that enemy spawns, that's where you get the checkpoint. So again, you can kind of be relieved knowing that even if you die here, you should be fine. Now, you're going to actually want to stay still in this location, and that is for a number of reasons. One, because the sniper won't be able to shoot you from here. But two, directly above us right now is a grenade launching enemy, and you can actually see there's grenade bursts that are streaming past me every once in a while, and that's because he's trying to shoot down at me. Now, the good thing about staying in this location is that based on the angle, those things will not be able to hurt you, and you actually see right here, he blew himself up. The grenade launching enemy tried to shoot me, but because of the angle, he blew himself up. And so, hopefully that happens for you, but if not, it's okay. Just take comfort in the fact knowing that he won't be able to hit you from that location. And then once you kind of get clear of the regular soldiers, that's when you're going to want to kill this guy with a sniper rifle. Once he's out of the way, if the grenade launcher enemy is still alive, then you can kind of venture out here and take him out pretty easily. But again, you'll notice how we've basically been staying in this exact location for the entire firefight. And if you die here, you'll get that checkpoint and you'll actually spawn all over on the other end where Sully is, and that's actually also a good place to hunker down because it gives you a lot of cover from the enemies coming on from all locations. So don't sweat it if you die. If you don't die, either way, you should be able to get through this part relatively easily. This isn't the firefight you got to worry about. The firefight you got to worry about is the one coming up next, which is the church firefight. So what you're gonna do is you'll know this firefight's over when Drake and Sully start talking about the treasure, and what you're going to want to do in the meantime is run around, stock up on as many grenades as you can find, and also pick your weapons. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with the pistol and the sniper rifle for the next firefight, but what ends up happening is if you die, you're going to respawn, and I ended up respawning with a pistol and an M4, and all of these weapons were actually gone. So don't worry too much about what weapons you pick right now. Of course, you're going to want to pick the weapons you feel most comfortable with, but in the end, chances are, this might not be the case, obviously, but chances are you're going to die in this upcoming firefight, and so you just want to be careful, and you don't have to pay too much attention to the weapons you're choosing, because when the game respawns you, it will give you whatever weapons it gives you. So just don't pay this too much thought. Now, once you're ready to go, climb these stairs, and you're going to notice a cut in the video here because the doors are closed, but once you start the firefight, once you die, these doors will be open, and so when you respawn, here's what you're going to want to do. So this is fresh off the respawn as you're approaching the church firefight. Run inside, get Sully to run inside, and that's what's going to trigger the firefight. And so what's going to happen is all of these enemies are just going to start rushing you. There's going to be foot soldiers, there's going to be grenade launchers, and there's going to be snipers. And so what we want to do first is we want to take out the grenade launching enemies and the regular foot soldiers first. So you can see the main trick here is that I'm actually not going to even run inside the church. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on this staircase here, and I'm going to use alternative cover to shoot these guys as they make their way down the church through this corridor. And you can see here, I easily killed that guy because he was distracted by Sully. This grenade launching enemy, boom, take him out, no problem. A second grenade launching enemy will spawn. Again, this is where having a sniper rifle comes in handy because you can take these guys out with only one shot from a much farther distance. But if you don't have that luxury, a pistol will do or an M4 will do. Pretty much anything except the shotgun is going to be good in this location. Now, with the two grenade launching enemies out of the way, you have a little more leeway. You can start worrying about these snipers up top. And so what I recommend doing is just kind of using up all of the ammo you have. And, you know, if you can take out a sniper now with the ammo you have, then sure, feel free to do that. Otherwise, don't stress too much about it. What I'm going to do is, once that first wave of enemies is clear, I'm going to run in here. There's a sniper rifle leaning up against this pillar, and so after I use up all of my M4 ammo, that's when I'm going to switch to the sniper rifle and go to town on these snipers. I think there's like 5 of them up in the rafters here, and so you're going to take them out, and then once they're dead, that's when the final wave of enemies is going to spawn. And you got to be careful because the next wave of enemies will spawn once the last sniper is killed. And so if you don't want to spawn those enemies, if you want to take the extra time to run around and find some ammo and grenades, then don't kill this guy yet. But you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, I want some more ammo, blah, 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 because I know that as soon as I kill this last sniper, or if I run up too far, the next wave of enemies is going to spawn, and that's what I want to avoid here. So what I'm going to do, once I have the weapons I'm ready to use, I'm going to kill this guy at the very center of the church with the sniper rifle, and then you see I grabbed the grenade launcher because I'm going to take that, and once I kill that guy, that's when this last wave of enemies is going to spawn. And so before they spawn, what you're going to want to do is actually run. So you see here, I'm going to pick one of them off, or I'm going to try to pick one of them off right off the bat. Then what I'm going to do is grab that grenade launcher, and I'm going to run back outside, back to the staircase, and now I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the first wave of enemies. I'm just going to let them come to me, and then once they get close, that's when I'm going to use my grenade launcher and my grenades. And ideally, I probably should have picked up an M4 or at least some more pistol ammo, but I was not able to do that, so I'm going to have to make use of what I have. Now, of course, your situation can be different depending on the weapons you pick up, but all in all, it's the approach that you want to make the same. You just want to stand out here in this doorway. You're going to be safe on this staircase here, and that's when you're going to want to start fighting these guys. And so you see here, now I'm going to have to resort to my grenades, and I got a bit lucky here because this guy died close enough to me to where I could pick up his pistol. Again, I recommend that you just pick up the pistol ammo ahead of time before this wave of enemies even spawns. But that's your call. Just know that it's not impossible to get more ammo, even if you're way back in this location. And so now I'm down to my last couple bullets, and that's when I'm going to finish off the job. And once you see Sully run up, that's when you know you're done. You'll get a checkpoint here, and now there's only one more wave of enemies to worry about, and they're going to spawn behind us. So I recommend getting pistol ammo and getting M4 ammo, and then you're going to run all the way to the front of the church. Run as fast as you can and take cover behind this back pillar. If the enemies shoot you in the back while you're running here, that's okay. Again, you'll get a checkpoint and you'll spawn right here in this location. But if you're able to do it all in one go, why not? And so once you make it back here, 3 enemies are going to rush you on the ground level, and then there's going to be 1 sniper up in the rafters. You can worry about the sniper last. So what you're going to want to do here is just use alternative cover and take out the regular soldiers before you do anything else. And so once they are all out of the way, now you can focus primarily on the sniper, take him out, and you will be done. congrats, this is the hardest firefight in the game. It's made tougher by Brutal, but with some strength and perseverance and the right strategy, you should be able to get through it. So thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. You don't have to worry about collecting ammo here. Instead, you're just going to run over to this altar, and here you go.